this episode of the Naturist Living Show, International Naturism.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show is brought to you by Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park. At Bare Oaks, we offer traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Free your body, free your mind. www.bareoaks.ca.
Welcome, dear listener, to episode number 70 of the Naturist Living Show. And I apologize, it's been a long time since there's been a new episode of the show. It was a very busy summer. Running the park is getting more and more complex as we grow and we keep developing. And a busy fall. I was at the International Naturist Congress. As you probably remember, I'm now on the board of the International Naturist Federation. And that means traveling to Europe a few times a year. I know it's terrible. But there's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work is done in between and through the internet and other resources. But at least twice a year we have to get together. But every 2 years is the International Congress. And last year was a celebration of the 60th anniversary of the International Naturist Federation. And I talked about that, and we had the speeches on the podcast. But this year was the 60th anniversary of the first Congress, because the Federation, the International Naturist Federation, was formed in France at Montalivet, but it took another year to plan the first Congress. And ever since then, Congresses have been held every 2 years, because it takes a lot of time and money to bring people in from all over the world, every corner, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, and all over Europe, of course. But it's always great because it brings all kinds of different ideas. People always ask, what's the purpose of the INF? And, it's like the United Nations, I say. The United Nations itself does not do a lot. It doesn't have any power, because countries ultimately have the ultimate decision as to what happens within their borders. And similarly, the federations are the ones that actually do the work, the ones that represent naturism on the ground in each country. And they're the ones who can talk to governments and lobby for change and lobby for nude beaches, as the South African Federation has very recently done themselves. They just got the very first nude beach designated in South Africa. And, so that's an example where they asked for help. They were at the INF Congress. People shared thoughts and ideas. It gives you a sense of a boost of morale and energy to talk to others around the world that face the same problems, to share your problems and get new ideas and learn that different countries have different issues or deal with the same issues in different ways. And it gives you inspiration. It also gives the movement a lot of credibility. To have an international federation that's been around for 60 years, to be international, to be a movement with that much organization and meaning behind it, that means something. That's why we need federations and associations and groups to represent the movement. It can't just be whatever everybody does, because we won't have any strength, we won't have any voice. So the INF was very interesting. We were in Ireland. A lot of people raised an eyebrow when they heard we were doing it in Ireland, and quite rightly so. Ireland does not have a very developed naturist movement. It's a country of about 4 million people, which is about half the population of the Toronto area where I live. And they have a few clubs, but they're not very active. They're quite small. They have a lot of beaches identified on their websites, but they're not official beaches. It's still, and as most people know, Ireland is rather cool and wet, so it's not always the ideal weather either. But there are some passionate people in the Irish Naturist Federation, and they lobbied to have the Congress. They worked hard. They got the support of their tourism commission and their government, and they supported us, and they helped organize it. The government did, and it was quite a success. We were in Drumshanbo, Ireland, which is a very small village of 850 people, but there is a fairly sizable resort on the outside of Drumshanbo. beautiful place. We had the whole place, well, most of the place to ourselves. Not the whole place. So we couldn't be nude everywhere, but we were nude. At first, it was very controlled. And the management were clearly concerned about the reactions. But the media showed up in droves the first day. We were on every television station and all over the newspaper. There was, if you go back to the INF Facebook page or Twitter feed, you'll see all the links to the different articles and television and news stories that were out. And there was no negative reaction. It was, a smile, a wink, a joke, and having a lot of fun. And that's okay. That's how people deal with things that they're uncomfortable with. But they were still very friendly, very welcoming. And there were no complaints. And after a while, people were a little bit more easy to management, were a little bit more relaxed about controlling. We were allowed to go outside on the deck with nude because, surprisingly, for the entire length of the conference, it was sunny and quite warm for September. And we, in the end, the management of the hotel organized the fire brigade to show up, and for charity to basically have a challenge where everybody would get hosed down by the fire department. And now there was no limits. We were out on the front lawn in plain view of everyone without any clothes on, and we were sprayed and watered down, and it was great fun. And overall, I think it was an excellent Congress. And while I was there, I took a little time to interview a few of the delegates. There was 20-some countries represented. I don't remember the exact number, but there was a lot of countries there. I managed to interview 5 of them, and I asked each one to tell us a little bit about what naturism is like in their country. And we'll start, of course, with our hosts, Ireland.
I'm Scully, Irish Naturist Association, INA, as people know it. I'm a naturist in Ireland, have been for many years, and we've just finished our 34th International Naturist Federation Congress, which seemed to go very, very well. Ireland was the host country in this case. Everybody seemed to enjoy themselves, and the weather and all was great for it. We've been in the lake, we've been around the table and working hard, while the rest of our members visiting the hotel have been all enjoying themselves. So anyway, I'm going to pass you over to Stephen. He's another one of our members, and he has lots to say.
I think it's been a dream of our current president, Pat Gallagher. It's been a dream of his to bring the Congress here to Ireland for a long time. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we couldn't have even contemplated doing this. It wouldn't have been possible. Sort of public opinion wouldn't have allowed it. Attitudes have changed. You can see around here even the attitudes of the staff. Listening to people on the radio over the course of the last few months, every interview Pat has done, every interview Eamon has done, attitudes are changing. The local people, I heard one woman on the radio during the week saying 100 people this year, 1,000 people next year. The attitudes have certainly changed.
So what's naturism like in Ireland?
All the beaches.
Oh yeah. Well, naturism in Ireland is mainly. My name is Brenda Scully, and for me, naturism is it's very friendly. We have made a lot of friends through naturism, and we mainly have a pool, and sometimes we have day trips to the beach if the weather's good, and then we have regular swims once a fortnight, and house parties where we all gather together and we have a lovely time. And really now we enjoy it. Mainly it's the being able to relax and enjoy yourself without clothes. It's so if the freedom is there, then you just feel free.
We were just fortunate enough that just at the last minutes of the Congress, we had a local politician come in here. Politicians are really hard to get hold of, and while we had him on the hook, we said, you're not getting off until we do something about beaches in the country, right? So he's actually a senator in the government here, and he gives us his contact details. He's going to go to the Department of Justice and the Department of the Environment and try and at least get our beaches labelled so that people go past the label, past the sign on it, that they'll know they're coming to a nature's area. And that really, in some sense, satisfies the law, because the main thing is that people complain about, if they're going to complain about us, they're offended by the sight of someone nude. If they pass by a sign that tells them they're going to see someone nude, they can't really complain, can they? They did it on themselves. Okay?
There are no legal beaches in Ireland. there are a lot of beaches that are used unofficially, have been used for decades, but no actual legal beaches. The state of play with clubs, there's currently 2 clubs in the Republic. I think there are 2 clubs in Northern Ireland. Not a huge membership, but there are a fair number of regulars who turn up month after month. But hopefully something like this will change public opinion, will change the politicians' opinion. Naturism in Ireland is never going to be high on a politician's agenda, but every little bit of publicity like this helps. Certainly can't do any harm.
That's good. And the hard work by Pat and Mary Gallagher, who unfortunately couldn't be here on this occasion, the hard work on them got the Tourist Board on line with us, and the Tourist Board actually backed the coming of the Naturist Federation here. They said they would support us in every way they could, and they've been very helpful, I have to say, as the Irish Tourist Board. And I mean, that is for official recognition of nothing else,
Yes, and you guys have been tremendous and wonderful hosts, so I want to thank you very much. It's been a very wonderful Congress.
Thank you for the compliment. We hope everybody enjoyed themselves.
We sure did, and we're not done yet.
Right, very, very good.
Hi, my name is Maja. I'm from Slovenia, and I'm the president of Slovenian National from Slovenian Naturist Federation. Slovenia, for all of you who maybe don't know where we were part of ex-Yugoslavia, south of Austria. And we have 6 different associations in our federation. In Slovenia, we are only 2 million people, so the number of official naturists, of members of Naturist Association is not that high, but the nature and the rivers, the lakes and the coast is really beautiful. Slovenia has a lot to offer to naturists. We don't have a lot of problems with nudity. We have plenty of thermal spas and sauna centers. I think it's also because saunas are the clothes are not allowed in our saunas, so everybody has to be naked, and we have, as you call it, mixed saunas, so we don't have sauna separated for men and for women, except on certain days when they are saunas for reserved for ladies. And Slovenia is a country which lies on the crossing of different roads, especially from Central Europe towards the ex-Yugoslavia, towards Croatia, towards Bosnia-Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro. And that's why the infrastructure is very good. And mostly we are working on it to improve the tourist offer for naturists. Until now, we have 3 official campsites, one of them 3 official naturist campsites, of course, but there will be plenty more. I hope in 2015 we have at least 2 more, and in 2016 another 2 or more, of course. In Slovenia, you will not have serious problems if you swim naked in the river, in the lake, in the sea, as long as you find a place where there aren't many textiles. If you are in one of the swimming pools, public swimming pools, thermal spas, you have to read carefully the instructions that are always written in English and other languages. So if you don't find nothing that mentions that you should be dressed, you should wear a swimming suit when you are in swimming pool and around, you can be naked. That's the law. Slovenia is a green piece of Europe. It's wonderful and peaceful country, peaceful. We have parties, yeah, but it's tranquil. The nature is beautiful. We have clean rivers. You can drink water out of the rivers, and also tap water is very safe to drink. We are very friendly. We have good food, good wine, and the prices aren't that high in Slovenia as there are in some countries abroad or here in Ireland where we are now. And we are really friendly people, and especially I would invite those who love to be a little bit, who prefer active tourism, so they can go hiking naked, they can go cycling naked, and they can go rafting, kayaking, canyoning, and if we organize that, we can also do it without our unnecessary clothes. So river sports, hiking, and saunas in winter time, because it can get quite cold in our winter time, and really a safe place to be. Can I mention that Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia, will be the most greener, the greenest European capital in 2016.
Hello, my name is Rui Alves. I'm the president of the Portuguese Naturist Federation. And the kind of naturism that we have in Portugal is not different from other countries, probably, because we are Latin countries, and obviously there's a situation that's related with religion, and probably there's lots of people that think that's not a normal thing, or could be, most people think it's connected with perverts and not a good image that it was a long time ago when the beaches or the initial beaches that were for naturists were used by people, that kind of people. So fortunately the image has changed a lot. Now we have much more young people going there, and since the Federation is now point to a direction that they want to see more families, and the image of the family is different from what was before, when most of the people are old people. The majority of people were only male and old male. So one of the intentions that we had in the beginning is to change that kind of people. We want effectively to have more young families with their kids, and to show that to the society that naturism is a perfectly normal thing, a perfect legal thing, and that you don't have to hide it from your friends, from your family, from your co-workers, and to actually show that it has benefits for your health and the way you accept your body and the way you accept our other bodies and other people, the way people see the image is not normally like when we have that kind of image about the status, when people has their fancy clothes or whatever. We don't have that kind of things in naturism. In Portugal is exactly that way. So I hope to keep it this way, to increase the number of naturists in Portugal.
Now, what about people coming from abroad? Is there because most people who listen to this are not from Portugal? What would you say to them? Should they come to Portugal?
No, they should come to Portugal. We don't have, unfortunately, we only have 7 official beaches, but we have 20 that are tolerated, and we also have 3. In this moment, we have 4 campsites with all the conditions for naturism. So they are very welcome to come to Portugal and to enjoy the wonderful weather. And especially even in the winter time, which the weather is not that bad. So we hope to see all of them visiting Portugal soon.
I'm Nick Cornton. I'm the International Director for British Naturism, the National Federation for the United Kingdom. I've been a naturist for about 10 years, and in that time I've experienced I'm pretty much an all-rounder within Naturism. I've done most of the various things that we do in the UK, and really what they are is we traditionally have many clubs, around about 100 clubs that have land, and most of these clubs have got the typical facilities of a clubhouse and a swimming pool and other sports facilities, and they usually have camping and so on the ground. I'm a member of a club in Liverpool that's like that. I'm also been, until very recently, been the president of a swim club, which are quite common in the UK. There's around about 50 naturist swims that usually rent either council or commercially owned pools on special times every month or every week. And there's quite a lot of those around the country. Our particular swim in Blackpool in the northwest of England used to do around about 70 swims. It's dropped to about 50 at the moment because we've got work on a pool. We've been avid travellers. We go camping. We have a caravan that we tow on the car and go to. We much prefer to go to naturist campsites because of the simplicity of naturist camping, and that's taken us to some very interesting places and met lots and lots of interesting people. But also within BN, we do a lot of organised events at both local and regional and national level, and these things are pretty varied. Range from booking hotels for a weekend where we take over the whole hotel, and you turn up at a given time and everybody's naked for the whole weekend, and we do all sorts of things, and we mostly have a lot of volunteer run activities that are aerobics, body painting, people might play music and so on, everything that normal people do. And we also have a camping week, and we have conferences where the next event coming up is a formal conference where it's a bit of a business thing where we try and engage volunteers in helping on specific projects to develop naturism, and we feed back to the members, and these are the keen members that want to contribute that attend that. But we also have events at water parks with fancy slides and all that kind of thing. What other naturism is in the UK? There's a reasonable amount of beach naturism in the UK, especially in the south of England, where there's round about 200 unofficial naturist well-used beaches, which don't usually have much problems with being naked on the beach. But these have the advantage, in my opinion, that they're beautiful, remote, scenic beaches, but some people think that they don't like the idea of having to walk 2 miles to get there, but personally I like that. There's also about 10 official naturist beaches, but also whilst they don't usually include cliff climbing, they usually are a reasonable distance from everybody else. But unfortunately, in the northern half of the country, we've got very, very few beaches where it's not a problem, where you get hassled. But I also do some free-range naturism. I hike a lot, not very much of it naked, but when the opportunity arises in remote areas, of which, surprisingly, in a heavily populated country, there's actually quite a few, people tend to stick to the same routes, so they're very predictable. And you can easily find a few forestry areas and moorland areas where you can walk naked if you please in the countryside. With Naturist travellers, we've been on holidays to lots of other countries in Europe and North America mainly, and I've had a bit of a go at everything, and really I enjoy all aspects in pretty equal amounts.
Hello, it's Wendy Lowe from New Zealand. I'm here at the 34th International Congress with my husband Nick Lowe. We got married in January last year, 2013, and we're actually here on honeymoon. We decided to delay the honeymoon to combine it with the trip to Congress so that we could have a real holiday. So we've been away for a month and looking forward to getting back to New Zealand, especially after watching the awesome presentation that has been put together for our bid for the 2016 Congress. I feel really homesick now. New Zealand is a beautiful, clean, green place. Naturism is gaining wider acceptance in New Zealand. We have a lot of free beaches, and by free we don't mean that it costs nothing, we mean that it's free to be naked on certain parts of those beaches. You can also tramp, walk, cycle certain places with no clothes on, which is just great for naturists. We have throughout New Zealand 18 clubs or resorts that all provide accommodation for visitors, and visitor numbers are increasing, which means we must be doing something right, and the word is spreading about what a beautiful place New Zealand is. I think that pretty much covers it. Have I sold New Zealand?
I think you're sold New Zealand, yeah.
Good.
So you don't have any problems or anything like that? Everything's great?
We do occasionally have problems. There was a High Court case about 3 years ago, which my husband Nick was actually at the centre of. He was cycling naked on a country road, as he does a lot, and this particular woman drove past him, stopped her car, let him cycle past, drove past him, stopped her car, let him cycle past. She did this 5 times and then complained to the police. She was so upset that she had to watch him 5 times before she complained. We lost the case in the district court, took it to High Court, and he won on the basis that the naked body is not offensive. It's only behaviour that is offensive. So in New Zealand, the police now recognise the fact that given the right time, place and circumstance, if a person is just naked, going about their general business and not going out of their way to offend other people, then it's accepted.
And how big is New Zealand?
In terms of length, I think it's about 1,800 kilometres long, but it's not very wide. Overall land area is probably about the same as Ireland.
And population?
4 million, just over 4 million.
So I put New Zealand last because New Zealand is where we will find ourselves next for the 2016 Congress. They successfully lobbied for Congress to be held in New Zealand. That's about as far as we've ever gone for a Congress in the history of the INF, the 60 years of the INF. And it should be an interesting and very exciting opportunity. But they certainly tried very hard as well. They had a lot of support and funding from their Tourism Commission because, you know, they see, as they did in Ireland, that there's a lot of attention to the country that gets naturism. It gets a lot of press, brings people in from all over the world and bring back great stories, and it boosts naturism, boosts tourism as well in those countries. So next stop, New Zealand. Hey, hi, Felicity.
Hi, Stefan. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be back in Canada after the Congress in Ireland.
Right. Yeah, that must have been exciting.
It was neat. It was. I really enjoy the Congresses. I don't know why. The United States is not represented in the International Naturist Federation anymore, and I think that's a real shame because, the INF in itself doesn't do a lot, but what it does, and it always has done since the beginning, is it brings people together. It brings federations together, and they share ideas and they talk amongst each other, and I think it gives credibility to movements. So, I think associations and federations like YNA and the Nature Society and ANR and the FCN in Canada, I think those are all very important. Don't you think so?
Yeah, definitely. And actually, there's I think she's the president or the founder of the Beaches Foundation in Florida. She's actually been working on creating a unity conference.
Oh, Shirley Mason?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that just reminded me of that. I actually don't know if, I guess it's public knowledge. I mean, we've been on the communications line and been asked to nominate people who we think should attend and all that. But I don't know. I was just trying to think if it's actually on the DL or something, but I don't think so.
Yeah, so for you, why do you think it's important for people to support organizations like YNA or Nature Society or things like that?
Yeah, well, lately I've actually been trying to learn more about the political activities of the Naturist Action Committee.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think people realize how important they are and the amount of work that they do. And even for such a small organization with really not much funding. And when you really start to read the anti-nudity ordinances that get proposed all the time, all over the country, and the sort of freedoms that these lawmakers are trying to take away, you know, it's really like eye-opening. And like the latest one is in Clay County, Florida, and it's actually was proposed in order to regulate sexually oriented businesses, but a lot of times nudity gets thrown in with that.
Yeah. They don't think of us, do they?
Right, they don't. Yeah, they also don't think naturism is like a family-friendly thing, of course, but it's just ridiculous to read it because their ordinance is like they're basically saying that they believe public nudity promotes prostitution, sexual assault, all kinds of sexual crimes. It's like a threat to public order and public health. And like I just couldn't believe how crazy, and they have no evidence for these claims, of course. They're just making it up. Or somebody made it up and they're just adopting the same arguments for their ordinance.
So how are you working with them? What's your plan?
I've been doing more to spread the word. I mean, we've promoted their alerts and advisories and such on our networks and everything, but now I've been trying to write about the latest news and blog about it, and so that way it's up on our website and people can comment and learn about it even more. And these ordinances are the kind of thing that affect everyone. You know, it's not just a naturist thing because a lot of them also make top freedom illegal for women.
Right.
And it's just, they're written so badly that they'll even like criminalize types of women's swimsuit bottoms that they sell in the area because they write these like crazy definitions of buttocks.
Yeah.
And it's really stupid, but like, I mean, these ordinances, you know, they limit the freedoms of everyone, and they outlaw nude beaches and nudist resorts and everything. But it's just so unnecessary to throw in public nudity when they're trying to get rid of like these strip clubs and such.
Yeah, you know, and legal issues is actually something that I heard at the INF that happens in a lot of countries. Now, in Europe, you might think that they have it really good, and compared to us in North America, they do. But they still get legal issues. They still get sometimes governments trying to limit their rights. They may have a lot of nude beaches, but occasionally they try to take some away. Like in the UK, there was one nude beach that had been a nude beach a long time, and the government, for the same reason that we hear everywhere, decided to shut it down because of the perverts. And it's like, well, the perverts aren't the naturists, you know. And so it was, again, educating them that the naturists don't want the people who are having sex any more than anybody else does. So the challenge is, you know, people come to the INF and say, we need help with legal issues, but the INF can't fight legal issues in another country because they have no standing, nor does the INF have any big budgets or anything. But it is useful and we started doing this. All the countries share their legal problems with the INF, and then we as the INF share it with everybody else, so people can ask each other questions and learn. So sometimes strategies can be repeated. Maybe NAC should get involved in that too.
Yeah, I mean, all the other organizations, you mean get involved with the INF, or?
Yeah, well, maybe. You know, we need an organization to represent the United States. Since Anna is not doing it, somebody should, and so that at least there's a connection. Because we get inquiries all the time about naturism in the United States, and we can't really answer because there's no official federation.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it should be like a worldwide effort, and unite naturists from all over the world. I mean, strength in numbers.
Is YNA joining NAC as well? Are you part of NAC now, or?
No. We're not a part of them. We're independent still. I'm just well, the summer ended, which was like incredibly busy for us, and now I finally have a little bit more time to write. So I've been trying to research these ordinances a little bit. I'm just trying to understand where they come from and why they are being proposed, and really, like, nobody else is writing about them. I mean, the NAC website, they publish the alerts, but you can't comment. It's not like a blog, and it's just there for the purpose of giving people the important details and telling them what to do.
And what can people do then? What does NAC want people to do?
For the Clay County ordinance, which is the current issue, there's actually a meeting on tomorrow, on October 28th, that locals should attend, and they should also write to the Board of County Commissioners, telling them why their ordinance is a piece of garbage.
Yeah, there you go. So they need everybody who's listening to subscribe to and either write or show up if they can, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. People should go to the NAC website to get more information because there's guidelines about what to write and where to go and what to do. So.
And what's the NAC website?
That is naturistaction.org.
Okay. I presumably they probably need money as well if people want to donate, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely people should donate also.
Well, that's all for this episode of the Naturist Living Show. Thank you for listening. My name is Stéphane Deschênes, and I'm your host for this podcast and the owner of Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. You can find links to all the items I mentioned in the show notes on the website at naturistliving.bearoaks.ca. Please keep sending your comments and suggestions. I always appreciate getting them, and I read them all. The email address is naturistliving, at Bear Oaks, B-A-R-E, of course, bearoaks.ca, because we're in Canada. But don't just send me an email. I read them all and I try to reply, but what I prefer is if I can put you on the air as well. So you can call and leave a comment. You can take as many tries as you want. You can even delete it at the end if you're not happy. And I can't promise I'll use it, but I will. I'm not getting a lot of comments, and as long as it's an appropriate comment, I'm sure I'll put it on the show. So the phone number is country code 1 if you're outside North America, area code 905-473-6060, and then you dial extension 333 because that's the number of Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. In North America, you can call toll-free 1-888-373-9124, again, extension 333. And if you don't want to use your minutes on your long-distance phone call, just use Skype. It's free. You can Skype Bear Oaks, one word, B-A-R-E-O-A-K-S. That'll put you into the main phone system at Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park, and then you dial the extension for the Naturist Living Show again, which is extension 333. Join us again in about a month for the next episode of the Naturist Living Show.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show was brought to you by Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. Traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Traditional values means that naturism is more than just taking your clothes off. It is a life philosophy with physical, psychological, environmental, social, and moral benefits. Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park strives to promote those naturist values in a modern setting that provides the amenities and services that our members and visitors expect. Free your body, free your mind. Learn more at www.bearoaks.ca.